The GOP warning about a national security threat could be Russia wanting a nuclear weapon in space. Meanwhile, our very own President Joe Biden is being questioned as a national security threat himself. God help America, right, guys? Special Counsel Robert Hur's report is causing some serious concern as they talk about President Biden's mishandling of classified documents. And at the exact same time, they describe him as a sympathetic, well-meaning, elderly old man with bad memory. Now, former Deputy National Security Advisor KT McFarland asserts that Biden's dementia is glaringly evident, particularly to foreign leaders. And this as a Monmouth University poll revealed that a staggering 76% of voters believe Biden at 80 years old, that man is just way too old to serve another term, raising questions about his ability to navigate future crises effectively. Then, of course, you got Senator Marco Rubio's remarks on social media. I forget if it was Facebook, TikTok, or whatever. But anyway, his remarks on social media imply that age-related dementia could be a factor in Biden's lapses in memory, including forgetting important events such as his son Beau's passing. So forget about, the big, huge crisis at the southern border with, Texas Eagle Pass. Forget about all of that that's going on right now for just 1 second. Our own president of the United States is possibly one of the greatest threats to national security that we're dealing with right now. Now, despite these concerns, and before we are live, I want to just say a quick hello to everyone in the comments. I see a lot of you guys, 50 Shades of Grey, Susan Hopkins, Peaches McDowell, John Litton. How are you guys? Miss, how are you? I'm going to get back into the comments toward the end of this video. I just wanted to get to these notes right here. So, despite all these concerns, you got President Joe Biden remaining the leader of the free world, entrusted with making critical national security decisions daily, every single day, right? Do you believe that President Biden's, this is a serious question for you guys. Let me know in the comments. Do you believe that Biden's continued presidency poses a threat to national security? And more importantly, does he deserve another term in the Oval Office? So anyway, we'll be sure to get to that in a second later in this video. But before we get to that, all I ask of you guys is if you could just take a quick second, drop a quick like for the video. Thank you guys so much for helping us to get to 500,000 subscribers. That's a big number, guys. 500,000 subscribers. And I'm so happy for each and every one of you guys. And a lot of you guys have been with me since day one. And I really appreciate my old school fam, my newcomers. I really appreciate all of you guys. So thank you so much for also sharing these videos. By you sharing these videos and dropping a like for the video, I know it only takes a second, but it does. It really helps out the channel. So I just want to thank you guys so much. Appreciate your freedom reign. All right, so do this. Maybe not right now. Do this later on after the live, right? Just Google Biden forgetting, right? And you're going to see all sorts of clips where President Joe Biden seems to be losing himself. And so there's a recent one where Biden forgets the name of the terrorist group Hamas when he's talking about the hostages held in Gaza. Great job, Biden. So anyway, it's no wonder why people are starting to ask for a mental competency test from the president. And if not that, maybe all the White House directors or maybe all the White House doctors should be held accountable for saying Joe is fit and healthy. And as former Deputy National Security Advisor KT McFarland told Fox News, Biden's dementia, it's plain for all to see, but especially for foreign leaders. And this is where it's particularly concerning. Think about foreign leaders like Russia President Vladimir Putin. This is an opportunity for our adversaries to take advantage of us, if you think about it. Now, this is coming from the recent report from Special Counsel Robert Hur about how this 81-year-old president had willfully kept and shared classified information, but would not be charged in part because he was basically having some cognitive decline. Now, those records included classified documents about military, foreign policy in Afghanistan, among lots of other records related to national security and foreign policy, according to her. And Also, he mentioned sensitive intelligence sources and methods. This is big, guys. This is huge. Now, McFarland went as far as pointing out how dangerous this could be for national security. So first, it amplifies the claim that America is a spent power. Chinese leaders have been telling the world for years that America is in irreversible decline and that the future belongs to China. That doesn't sound very good if you're American or living in America, does it? Now Biden, he's the embodiment of irreversible decline himself, giving credence to the idea that America's supremacy on the world stage is over. Not good. Second, because foreign leaders know that now is the time to press the United States to take advantage of a leader who's not only weak, but he's also confused. It doesn't leave us in a good position, guys. Now, retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, he took aim at the Biden administration as a whole and said that the president has always taken a long time to make decisions or do anything when dealing with his adversaries. Now, this is actually right. For many, this has been very obvious his entire presidency. So they just kind of want America to wake up. There was a poll that came out from Monmouth University in October and found 76% of voters agreed that Biden, who was 80 years old at the time, was just too old to serve another term, compared to just 48% who said the exact same thing about Donald Trump at age 77 years old. In other words, people feel way more confident with Trump being in the office than Biden, even though they're roughly the same age. They're Trump's a little younger, but they're pretty close. They probably they were probably in high school around the same time. Anyway, now, according to Fox News contributor Kellogg, when we talk about national security, the focus naturally shifts to the commander in chief, the president of the United States. And the ideal scenario is having a president who is not only well informed, thanks to his advisors, but is also capable of making very quick, rational. I don't think rational is a word. Rational. Yeah, there we go. Understandable decisions. However, in this current administration, there seems to be a delay in decision-making processes, and this could easily give our adversaries an advantage. Not a good thing, right? And so they made a reference to an old military term. It's called the OODA or OODA loop: observe, orient, decide, and act, which emphasizes the importance of getting ahead of your opponent's decision-making cycle. Now, if a president's cognitive abilities are compromised, then their capacity to make timely decisions becomes very questionable and puts the United States at risk, which can have it can definitely have some very serious implications for national security. Now, when you look at the Middle East, look how long it took for us to attack. Scratch that. Look how long it took for us to react to the attack on the American people, or just I should say our American troops, or even to go as far as what we've done to try to reestablish some form of a deterrence. I mean, it was a very slow decision-making process, which begs the million-dollar question that everybody should be asking at this point is, who's really running the US of A, right? Is Biden really running the United States? Is it the deep state? Is Barack Obama running running the United States from behind the scenes? Like who is controlling, who's really running the country right now? Does anybody have an answer? Do you have any guesses as to who's really running the country? I mean, I don't know. So what do you guys think? So let's explore this idea for a second, right? Special Counsel Robert Hur's nearly 400-page report is full of damning evidence of Biden's carelessness with vital national security secrets. It's embarrassing, actually. And his defense of Biden is that the man is just too old and forgetful to be held accountable for his actions. Now, consider Biden's storage of Afghan war secrets in his Delaware home, including a classified handwritten memo that he wrote to President Barack Obama back in 2009 that Biden kept because he thought it would vindicate his opposition to sending more troops. Now, the memo and its classified attachments were found in a badly damaged box in a garage near a collapsed dog crate, a dog bed, a Zappos box, an empty bucket, a broken lamp wrapped in duct tape, potting soil, probably some Miracle Grow, synthetic firewood, the whole shebang, right? So Hur suggests that it was just so reckless that Biden's lawyers might convince a jury that it had to be accidental. There's no way, right? He said that this is not where a person intentionally stores what he supposedly considers to be important classified documents critical to his legacy. Rather, it looked more like a place where a person stores classified documents that he has forgotten about or is just totally unaware of. So that was his argument, right? But somehow, I don't really feel all that reassured by these statements. Now, I mean, I just can't help but recall what former President Barack Obama said about Biden before. He said, don't underestimate Joe's ability to F things up, So finally, like I mentioned before, Hur concluded it was very hard to charge Biden with an intentional crime because jurors might believe Biden couldn't remember where he put stuff. And in talking to ghostwriter Mark Zwanitzer in 2017 for a book, Biden shared some classified secrets. He admitted he had just found classified material in a Virginia house he was renting. Nice job. Anyway, so Hur found Biden's recorded conversations with Zwanitzer, the ghostwriter from 2017, and they're painfully slow, apparently. I didn't hear them myself, but so basically you had Biden struggling to remember events and straining at times to read and relay his own notebook entries. And these were from the tapes that the ghostwriter didn't destroy. So I wonder what was on the tapes that they chose I wonder what was on the tapes that they chose to destroy. Because these were pretty bad, the ones that they ended up holding on to. So anyway, Hur also talked about his own interview with the president in 2023, where Biden's memory was worse. He did not remember when he was vice president, and he did not remember even within several years of when his son Bo had died. I don't know how you forget that. I'm not in Biden's mental state, so I don't really know how that works. But that's really sad when you think about it. I mean, I'm just thinking like father to a father. You know what I mean? Anyway, so the passing of the president's eldest son occurred on May 30th, 2015, and it was a main focus of Biden's 2017 memoir, Promise Me Dad, written with the help of his ghostwriter, Mark Zwanitzer. So Senate Intelligence Ranking Member Marco Rubio, he put this post up on Twitter and commented how the special counsel decided not to bring charges against Biden because they believe he has age-related dementia. Hence, Hur concluded that to a jury, Biden might seem to be a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. He asked for effect, who would convict by then a former president who will be at least well into his 80s of a serious felony that requires a mental state of willfulness? Okay, point taken, right? But now the argument can also be kind of flipped around on him. Like if you're going to say like, who's going to convict a guy who's, a well-meaning old guy, well into his 80s with a bad memory, right? But if we flip that around using that same logic, right? But now the argument can also be said like, who would elect, think about this, right? Who would elect by then a former president who will be at least well into his 80s as the leader of the free world? I mean, if you can't convict him because of his memory, then can you really elect him? Because his memory is not good. That's the argument that's keeping him out of jail, right? Anyway, I mean, like, even before we're talking about his possible reelection this year, right now, at this very moment, this very same president that Hur called a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory, he still handles secrets every single day for the United States of America. And sometimes he has to make some crucial national security decisions on short notice, probably in the middle of the night, on what he's been told. Now, he's also the nation's chief law enforcement officer. The president and the president alone is tasked by the Constitution of the United States to take care that the laws be faithfully executed. But, I'm no lawyer, I'm no congressman, I'm no doctor, I'm not a tax guy or anything like that. But I do think that means having some memory of what the laws are, at least. These things kind of demand a certain level of mental acuity. So, I'm not going to argue the age bias here, but these things, they seem to be challenging tasks that we shouldn't really be just entrusting to any old, I was going to say any old Joe Schmo, but his name is Joe. So anyway, you know what I mean though, right, guys? Like, my friends keep telling me we might feel bad for Biden, but we'd all probably be safer if he were eating ice cream on a beach in Delaware enjoying his retirement. And like I said earlier, 86% of Americans, they think that Biden is just too old to serve another term. Now, I got to admit, it's surprising to see that many Americans agree on anything these days, 86%. Now, if 86% of people think he's just too old, or, we'd all be safer if he were eating ice cream on a private island or something like that, I don't see how he gets reelected. But I mean, stranger things have happened. Now I found this fitting quote from Abraham Lincoln online. You can't fool all the people all the time. Am I right, guys? And speaking of time, we're living in a time when things are really getting serious. I mean, just take the recent news about House Intelligence Committee Chair Mike Turner calling for the president to declassify information about an ongoing threat, something that he called a serious national security threat. So he wants the information declassified so that Congress, the administration, and our allies can openly discuss the actions necessary to respond to this threat. Now, the Intelligence Committee also sent out a note to House members warning of a destabilizing foreign military capability that should be known by all congressional policymakers. Now, two sources that are familiar with deliberations on Capitol Hill said that the intelligence has to do with Russia wanting to put a nuclear weapon into space. And not exactly, it doesn't sound like Russia wants to exactly drop a nuclear weapon onto Earth, but rather to possibly use it against satellites. One of the sources said it's very concerning and very sensitive, so it's, they also called it a big deal. I'd say that's a big deal, right? Probably go ahead and put that in the big deal category. So what really got me worried was how the White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, he answered reporters when he was pressed about the intelligence request. He said he's confident that President Joe Biden, and he's confident in President Joe Biden's decisions and all the decisions that he's making, and is going to ensure the security of the American people. So I don't know, something we've been talking about a lot here on this video today, like how people are starting to worry about Biden's capability to do just that. So I don't know. So Jake Sullivan, he said that the White House has gone further and in more creative, more strategic ways dealt with the declassification of intelligence in the national interest of the United States of America more than any other administration in history. So you definitely are not going to find an unwillingness to do that. Anyway, I wonder how he would describe Biden keeping those Afghan-related documents in his garage. I don't know, guys. But anyway, I just want to jump up in the comments real quick and just say hello to you guys. What is going on, everyone? I'm so glad you guys are able to hang out with me today during this live. Man, a lot of faces I hadn't seen in a little while. It's been a couple days since I went live, so definitely good to see you guys. Who we got in here tonight? So we got Catalia in the house. What's going on, girly? We got MS. We need to get the rich out of office. Yeah, I think probably most, if not all, the congressmen and women in the congressional offices, like at least seven-figure millionaires, if not decamillionaires. Let's see. We got Kentucky Honey. We got Conchetta Tucker. What's going on? God bless us all. Uh, God help us all. We got Drew Down 87, Anthony Smitherman, Rafa, Yvonne Morales. Good to see you too. So Rafa's had space nukes. Oh, I think you meant Russia's had space nukes capabilities for years. Well, they may have had space nuke capabilities for years, but I think the big issue was regarding declassification of that information so that they could openly discuss that among congressional leaders. And anyway, so yeah, they probably have had it for years, but it was classified. So let's see, what's going on. Sandra JG Thompson in the house from Marietta, New York, not NYC. Awesome. Dorella Herrera. How do you pronounce that? Herrera? Dorella Dorley. I think it's Dorley Herrera. And I totally apologize for just completely butchering your name. But welcome to the channel too. Freedom Rain. What is going on? We got a lot of people in here on this late night. John Lighton. So first time catching one of your lives. Thank you for all of the information. You are so very welcome. And let me see if I can figure out how to pronounce your name. Is it the Rhea Spinner 07? Probably screwed that one up too. Some of you guys have some really creative names, and I really do my best. Yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. If you haven't already, do your boy a favor, drop a quick like for the video. I also want to thank you guys so much for helping us hit. I say us because I don't do this by myself. Like, this channel is nothing without you guys. If you guys don't hang out with me, then I'd be like talking to myself. That's kind of boring. So I wanted to thank you guys so much for helping us get to 500,000 subscribers. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't even, it doesn't even feel real sometimes, but I really appreciate you guys supporting the channel, for hanging out, for being, just the best. And what's really cool is how many new people have joined the channel, and how many ride or die channel subscribers that have literally been hanging out and rocking with me since like day one. It's crazy. It's been like 4 years. I literally was talking to somebody about, like, when I started the channel, and I told them, I was like, yeah, I've been doing it for like 3 years. And I did the math. I was like, yo, it's like 4 years now. And it's crazy because, like, my very first videos, I literally just I just turned the camera on, and I was just like talking, not expecting anyone to freaking listen to me. I had no subscribers, and here we are today, 500,000 subscribers, and like random people in the store or in the gym, like, just say, hey, I watch your show. And I'm like, yo, what's up? Thank you. Never ever would have thought any of this was gonna happen. Anyway, I'm just really appreciative of you guys. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for hanging out. It's getting late, but thank you so much, you guys. I see you in the comments, all of you, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. You guys have a great night.